Hey, I'm here at the wash bay at Veloci Performance. They're gracious enough to have me and to use this awesome facility to wash my car. This car is a 1978 Rabbit. I built it for the 2021 SEMA show. And it's really dirty. I just got it out of storage this weekend and haven't driven it yet. So with washing it, there's a bunch of small details that I want to pay attention to considering the condition that the car is in right now. You might think that it looks really, really clean, but it's actually really filthy right now. There's a lot of dust on it from sitting under a cover and then taking the cover off and putting it in my trailer to bring it home. Because of that, I don't want to actually touch the paint with this. So today we're going to wash it with a foam cannon and do a touchless wash. And then once the surface is completely clean of any contaminants, I'll take a PFM drying towel and I'll dry it off. There's a couple other details that we're going to do today. Because the car is on individual throttle bodies under the hood, and everything's raw aluminum polished, I want to do a little prep work in the engine bay before I get water here, because I don't want water to go into any of the orifice and get it sucked up into the inside of the engine. So what I like to do is just take a black plastic contractor bag, and I like the big ones like this, and I cut them open. And what I'll do is I'll actually just wrap the entire engine with this bag so that any water that's coming down won't make it into it. Now, you know, things can get a little wet. It's not going to hurt anything. Let's just make sure that things don't get into the engine because it doesn't have an air box because it's a show car and it doesn't get driven all that much. If this was like my daily driver, I'd get a wash mitt out and I'd wash it normally, making contact with a really soapy, clean wash mitt, but this thing's a little bit of a prima donna and I like to take the extra precaution and not have to try and buff or polish the paint out again. So I'm going to close this and we're going to get it wet. So we're going to start by wetting the car first. And we want low pressure, high volume. We want to have some distance away from the car because I don't want to attack the paint with a high pressure stream. Again, handful of feet away. Start at the top and work your way down. You can start to see some of the dirt beating up as it comes off the car. Again, it doesn't look like it's really dirty, but when you start to get it wet, you start to see the dust piling into actual piles of dirt. So it's good to get this clean before I start using it for the year. Something of interest, this is actually only the second time I've washed this car. It doesn't get driven much, and I pamper it. So because of that, I really want to take my time and be careful not to scratch the paint. Every time you touch it, it scratches it. So get it nice and wet so that we can put the soap on it and lubricate it. Again, if there's no road grime on it, you don't need to scrub anything off of it, and that's what's best for this car because there aren't scratches in the paint right now. Now that it's wet, we'll get the soap, so we'll get a foam cannon out, and again, we'll start from the top and go down. We'll get it all soaped up, and then from there, we'll rinse it again. So I'm going to take this nozzle off and install the cannon. So today we're using what's called Yum Foam. It's by Yum Cars out of the UK. This is a pH balanced car soap. What it's designed to do is actually lift and encapsulate the dirt off the car when you're spraying it, and then when you rinse it off, that then is what carries it off the paint, so you don't actually have to scrub and lift it off the surface of the vehicle. So we've got it in, it's working, let's foam the car. Something else to be cautious of, this hose is dragging on the ground, and so every time you move it, there's dirt on the floor. So you want to make sure you don't ever lift the hose over the car. Every time this hose can potentially touch the car, it's a scratch that's waiting to happen. So get it over your shoulder and try and control it as best you can, and walk around and take the time to set yourself up around the car instead of trying to go over the car and save time. The more time you take and the more cautious you are, the better results you get just in general in life. So why not when you're washing a car like this too? We're going to rinse the car off now. You'll notice I actually haven't foamed the engine bay, and I'm not going to. The engine bay on this particular car is so clean and there's so much polished raw aluminum that I want to keep as much off of it as possible. What you'll see though is that I still have the vents here. So when I foamed, there is some material that is making it down into the engine bay. So I'm going to spray it off lightly and just make sure I can rinse anything that's sitting on the engine and the transmission away. And then that will come after I rinse the rest of the car. But as far as the foaming, we're done and we're ready to move to the next step. So before you point this nozzle at your beautiful car, your pride and joy, just check and make sure that it's actually in there with a positive engagement. It's not going to put a dent in your car. So let's rinse this thing off. All right, now let's do the engine bay and rinse that off, ensuring that that plastic bag is still where it needs to be. Now we got it rinsed off. We're looking pretty good. I want to do an initial dry of the engine bay right now. And a trick that I use is just a little 18 or 20 volt leaf blower that you can get at Home Depot or Harbor Freight to blow off the engine bay first before we do anything else. This helps get the water out of the crevices, and you don't have to just let it drip dry. You can actually blow it dry. Now it's not perfectly dry, but it gets it closer. And then we'll go back over with a PFM rag or towel, and we'll wipe it down and make it completely dry. But this gets all of the nooks and crannies around the polished aluminum and in the engine and transmission dry enough where we can go over it with the towel afterwards, and it's good enough at that point. So I'll grab a drying rag and we'll start drying the car. So we'll start by drying with a drying towel, again, top to bottom, door jambs, wheels, and then we'll take a separate one and do the engine bay. But anywhere, you want to start from the cleanest surface and go to the dirtiest surface when you're drying, so that if there is still a contaminant on the car, you don't accidentally scratch the paint. So we're gonna lay it on top and just pull it straight across and let the towel do its magic. And these things can hold like 1,000 gallons of water. Not literally, but these things are pretty awesome. You don't have to wring them out all that often. You can take the gun and blow. Get as much water out of the little crevices around the gas filler too, and then just wipe it up with the rag. Right, now get down to the rockers and we can do the engine bay and the hood. All right. I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but it's just night and day difference what it looks like after a fresh wash compared to being dusty from storage. And it was covered. It just happens to be that I had it in a trailer, and as soon as you move it, it just attracts dust. It's like a magnet for dust. Cool. Now we'll finish wiping off under the hood of the engine bay, because under the hood's just as important as the outside of the car. On this particular car, we spent hundreds of hours making it smooth and look as pretty as the outside of the car, so I want to take extra close attention and not let all that work be in vain. All right, we'll do the door jambs, we'll do the bumpers, and then we'll wipe off the wheel lips. Oh yeah. I'll probably be a little less nervous about it this year, and I'll actually let my feet touch the carpet. But for right now, extra careful. Now onto the bumpers to make sure there's no water stains on the chrome. All right. I think she's ready to go out on a Friday night.